A recent US Census report on state-to-state migration found that 1 out of every 4 people who moved to Idaho came from California. So just why are so many Californians moving to Idaho? Well, stay tuned and I'll tell you why. But first, make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and turn on notifications. If you're from California like me, chances are you know somebody who has made the decision to pack up the wagon and move to the Gem State. Over the last 2 decades, the suburbs surrounding Boise have experienced exponential growth. Cities like Meridian, Idaho, which has gone from a town of less than 10,000 in 1990 to a booming metropolis that surpassed 100,000 in 2018. In neighboring Eagle, a city that started as a small homestead on the Boise River, the population has increased nearly 8-fold since the 90s. While this sudden Idaho population boom may seem surprising, in reality it's hardly a new phenomenon. From 1960 to 1980, the Boise metropolitan area experienced a 66% population growth. In December 1979, a time when many Californians were making the move to Idaho once before, a humorous Washington Post article reflected on the negative sentiment from native Idaho residents toward the new California arrivals. I've heard from a lot of ex-Californians on why they chose to move to Idaho, but the top 2 reasons seem to be cost of living and politics. Let's first focus on the latter. During the last 20 years, we may have very well experienced the death of political moderatism in the United States. According to Pew Research data collected on the American public's political values over the past 2 decades, polarization between the Democrat and Republican parties has increased dramatically. In response, people are choosing to move to places where they are culturally and politically comfortable, according to Gary Moncrief, professor of political science emeritus at Boise State University. In a recent surge of Democratic candidates being elected across the state, many California conservatives claim that the political pendulum in California has swung so hard to the left that it has broken off its rod and flung into an unstoppable trajectory that would make even Isaac Newton blush. Following the 2018 elections, Democrats took 28 out of 40 seats in the California Senate, in addition to a 75% supermajority in the state assembly, or 60 out of the 80 seats. This means Democrats in California's Congress are free to pass legislation that fits their agenda with virtually no resistance, and they can easily override any potential vetoes by the governor. But it doesn't seem like that'll be a problem because in 2018, Californians also elected former Lieutenant Governor and former San Francisco Mayor Gavin Newsom as their new governor. Unlike his more fiscally conservative Democratic predecessor Jerry Brown, Newsom has a bold agenda that includes universal preschool and child care, tackling homelessness, and providing subsidized health care for all, including undocumented residents. In addition, California's Attorney General Xavier Becerra has made it a personal mission to fight the White House agenda, having already filed over 4 dozen lawsuits against the Trump administration, each with a hefty price tag that will be paid by the California taxpayers. Let's contrast this to Idaho, where Republicans currently hold 28 out of 35 seats in the state Senate and 56 out of 70 seats in the state assembly. Republican Governor Brad Little expressed that he plans to focus on education, Medicaid expansion, and infrastructure during his first term. In 2017, Idaho Attorney General Lawrence Wasden was among a group of 10 other state attorney generals who threatened litigation against the Trump administration if President Trump did not terminate DACA, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals policy enacted by President Obama. As you can see from a political standpoint, California and Idaho couldn't be any more different from each other. You have a Democrat supermajority in California, a Republican supermajority in Idaho, the California Attorney General threatening to sue the Trump administration for repealing DACA, and the Idaho Attorney General threatening to sue if it didn't repeal DACA. It's clear that the political landscape of Idaho has made it an appealing haven for California conservatives who feel disenfranchised by their state's government, whose values do not align with their own. This brings me to the second reason why Californians are moving to Idaho: cost of living. According to Zillow.com, the average home value in California is currently $547,000, while the average family income is $82,000. In the more populous counties, those numbers are slightly more skewed. Contrast all of this to Idaho, where the average home value is $254,800, the average rent is $1,350 per month, and the average family income is $50,985. Wow, that's a lot of numbers, but what do they mean? Well, taking into account housing, food and groceries, utilities, transportation, and healthcare costs, Boise is 45.3% cheaper than Los Angeles. This means if your salary in Los Angeles were $60,000, you could afford the same amenities in Boise on a salary of $33,000. So there you have it, the two biggest reasons why Californians have thrown in the towel and moved to Idaho: politics and cost of living. Before you go, I'm curious to hear from you. If you're a former California resident that has left the state for one reason or another, leave a comment down below letting me know what caused you to leave and where you went. Or if you recently moved to California, let me know what brought you here. Thanks for watching, and remember to never stop exploring.